Hey everybody, it's me, Chris. I'm back over here in the kitchen. Today I'm making buffalo wings. Sweet and spicy buffalo wings with Italian seasoning. And this recipe was inspired by a place near my house. It's a bar called Grumpy Jack's. They have probably some of the best wings I've ever had. So similar to that, and they really just explode in your mouth with flavor. It's a unique way to make the buffalo sauce. So I'm going to share that recipe. Let me show you what I got here. I got here equal parts. This is Frank's Red Hot sauce, about a half a cup, and a half a cup of honey. I got a couple tablespoons butter, some granulated garlic, and onion powder. That's a teaspoon of each. I got 1.5 tablespoons of Italian seasoning, and that's what really makes these wings pop. And I got a tablespoon of rice vinegar for some extra tang. And over here I have the wings. These I just got from the store. They're already trimmed. I washed them and I took a paper towel and I patted them dry to get out all the excess moisture. And then what I'm gonna do now is I got some flour here and I just wanna lightly coat these with some all-purpose flour. I'm just gonna get a spoon and start to mix these. All right, so this looks good. I'm not putting a ton of flour on them. I just want a light coating. And what that's going to do is absorb some of the excess moisture for when we fry them, and it's going to make a nice crispy crust on the outside of the wing. Alright, so to cook these wings, I'm not really going to deep fry them. I got my large Dutch oven set up here, and I only got about a 1/2 inch oil in there. I've heated it up for about 10-15 minutes on medium, and I just want to check my oil to make sure it's hot. So I'll just take one of the wings, and what you can do is carefully with your tongs dip it in and you see if it's hot. And you can see it start to sizzle right away. So I know the oil's ready. And I'm going to do I got about 20 wings. I'm going to drop half of them in, skin side down, and start cooking them. Okay, so my first batch of wings are in. And these are going to cook probably about 7 minutes per side. I'll have to flip them. But I really like doing it this way so I don't have to use an excess amount of oil and deep fry them and worry about having to discard the oil. It makes for a much easier cleanup. Okay, so while my wings start to fry, I'm going to get my sauce ready, and I'm just going to basically combine everything. So here's my hot sauce, and the great thing about this is you can make as much or as little as you want. Just remember equal parts of the hot sauce and honey. For my hot sauce, my honey, I got my butter, my granulated garlic, the onion powder, rice vinegar, and Italian seasoning. And now I'm going to put this in the microwave. I'll start out on 30 seconds, and I just want to heat it up a little bit and melt the butter so I can incorporate it together into one even mixture. So 30 seconds, twice in the microwave, and I can see my butter is melting. So I'm just going to take a whisk and mix this up until it's completely combined. Okay, so this looks good. The butter is completely melted. And the last thing I want to add a pinch of salt and just a pinch of fresh cracked black pepper. I'll stir that in. I just want to give it a taste. Very good. Now all I got to do is finish cooking my wings. Okay, these look ready to flip. And I'm using canola oil, by the way. You could use vegetable oil or whatever oil you like. Just don't use olive oil. It'll burn. And just keep an eye on your oil. When you add these wings, these were partially frozen, so they were very cold. So the temperature of the oil will go down right away. So what I did, I had to turn up the temperature from medium to medium high. And it took a little longer for the wings to brown. I actually had these on the first side for about 13 minutes, but definitely don't rush it. On that skin side, you really want to give it enough time to get a nice golden brown crust. So these are flipped, and I'll let them cook for at least another 5 to 7 minutes, and they should be perfect. Alright, so these look pretty good. They've been 5 minutes on the other side, and I'm just tossing them around. I want to make sure they're nice and evenly browned. Just going to give them a couple more minutes, and they'll be ready. Okay, so I think my wings are done, and it's okay to make them well done. The crispier the better, if you ask me. But I'm going to take one out. I'm going to take this nice chubby little drumstick out, and I want to make sure it's cooked through inside. Okay, so you always want to make sure you cook your chicken through, and the way you do it, take a drumstick, cut along the bone and open it up, and you can see there's no blood. Everything's clear. These are perfectly cooked. They're ready to go. So now that my wings are cooked, I'm just going to take them. I got my spider here. I'm just going to drain the excess oil for a minute and put them right into my sauce. So it's my first batch of wings is done, and I'm just going to toss them and get them really nicely coated in my sauce. And it's important to toss these when they're really nice and hot right out of the oil, and they absorb that sauce. So I got my slotted spoon here. I'm just going to drain the excess and put these right onto my platter, and we'll be ready to try them. And before I try these, I'm just going to take a little bit of extra sauce and just drizzle it right over the top. Okay, so my sweet and spicy wings, they're done. I'm ready to try them. I got a nice platter here. I cut up some carrots, some celery. I got some ranch to dip them in. I got a nice seasonal beer. I got some Oktoberfest from Sam Adams here. And look how great these look. You can see all the spices, and they just look really, really good. So let me give one a try. You can hear the crunch when I bite into it from the little bit of crust I got by adding the flour. Really, really good. A little bit of spice, some sweetness from the honey, and a ton of flavor from the spices that I put in. The onion powder, garlic powder, and the Italian seasoning really is what sets it off. So football season's here. You gotta have a bunch of wing recipes in your arsenal. I mean, you can't just be a one-trick pony. You gotta have some wing game. So check out these wings. I think you're really gonna like them. They're gonna knock your socks off. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching the video.